Welcome to Muffu Tales, where every story begins with a little magic.
In a quiet, sun-kissed village surrounded by rolling green hills, there lived a hard-working donkey named Dory, known by everyone but truly appreciated by very few. From early morning until the stars shimmered at night, Dory carried heavy water buckets, delivered crates of vegetables, hauled firewood for elderly villagers, and even pulled children's wagons when their tiny legs grew tired. He never complained, not once, though deep inside he longed for someone, anyone, to notice how hard he worked. What he wished for most of all was respect. And so, one weary afternoon, after delivering hay to the stable for the 6th time, Dory looked up at the grand palace shining on the hill and whispered, "If only I were a king for just one day, then they would all look at me differently." Meanwhile, in that very palace, Prince Leo lounged on silk cushions decorated with golden thread. He was young, handsome, and unquestionably spoiled. Servants fluttered around him like birds, feeding him grapes, cooling him with fans, and presenting him with tasks he absolutely refused to do. "It is too much," he whined dramatically. "I cannot possibly sign these papers or attend another council meeting. I am far too exhausted from walking all the way to breakfast today." The queen, a wise ruler with gentle eyes, sighed deeply. "My son," she said, "a kingdom needs a leader who understands responsibility. Perhaps you should observe how the villagers work. Someone like that diligent donkey, Dory." But Prince Leo scoffed, waving his hand in the air. "A donkey? How could I possibly learn anything from a creature who spends all day in the dirt?" And so, fate brought the pampered prince and the hard-working donkey face to face the next morning at the stable. Dory bowed politely, hiding his excitement, while Leo pinched his nose in disgust. The prince teased him, calling him slow and simple, and that stung Dory's heart like a thorn. Summoning his courage, Dory suddenly declared, "If you think you're so much better, why don't we switch roles for a day? You be the donkey and I'll be the prince." Prince Leo laughed so loudly that even the chickens fluttered away in alarm. "You, a prince? This will be the funniest day of my life," he said, agreeing to the deal without hesitation. At sunrise, the great role swap began. Dory was dressed in a long velvet robe and a heavy golden crown that slipped over his ears. The palace doors opened to honor their new prince. He beamed with pride. Finally, everyone bowed to him. But his joy didn't last long. Almost immediately, the royal advisor trotted toward him with scrolls stacked taller than a goat. "Prince Dory, you must settle a land dispute, approve new building plans, listen to complaints from villagers, and meet with the council about winter supplies." Dory's ears drooped. He tried his best, really he did, but every decision confused him. When two farmers argued about runaway chickens, he suggested they simply talk to the chickens. The farmers stared at him in disbelief. Soon, the palace was buzzing with frustration. This job was nothing like he imagined. At the same time in the village, Prince Leo discovered the harsh reality of donkey life. Dressed in shabby straps with buckets at his sides, he tried to walk with dignity. But the buckets were heavy, the roads uneven, and everyone demanded something from him. "Hurry, Leo! Dory!" villagers shouted. "We need more water! Deliver these vegetables! Pull this cart!" By midday, the prince was sweating, panting, and nearly crying as a group of goats nudged him impatiently. Even the gentle stable boy, Sam, couldn't help laughing a little. Dory does this without complaining, he reminded the prince. Leo's pride cracked as he realized just how much the donkey carried, literally and emotionally. By afternoon, the kingdom was in complete disorder. Chickens ran wild in the palace courtyard. The villagers were confused by Dory's strange royal decisions, and Prince Leo collapsed dramatically in a pile of hay. Finally, the queen summoned both of them. They arrived equally exhausted. Dory with his crooked crown slipping down his face, Leo covered in dust and hay, dragging the empty buckets behind him. The queen looked at them with both disappointment and understanding. "Well," she asked softly, "what have you learned?" Prince Leo stepped forward first, shoulders drooping. "Mother, I never knew how hard Dory worked. I thought pulling carts was simple. But it's heavy, it's tiring, and everyone relies on him. I was wrong, completely wrong." Dory, touched by the prince's honesty, stepped forward too. "Your Majesty," he said gently, "I thought being a prince meant being respected all the time. But ruling a kingdom is harder than hauling firewood. I couldn't handle the pressure. I didn't understand your work either."
The queen smiled, a warm, proud smile. "Then perhaps today was not a disaster," she said. "Perhaps today was the beginning of understanding." The villagers who gathered nearby finally realized how unfairly they had treated Dory. They apologized, promising to help more and demand less. Prince Leo bowed to Dory in front of everyone, much to their astonishment, and said, "You are stronger and wiser than I ever knew." Dory bowed back, saying, "And you are kinder than you think, Your Highness." From that day on, the villagers treated Dory with respect and gratitude, and Prince Leo became a better prince. Not perfect, but willing to help, listen, and learn. And as for Dory, he returned proudly to his stable, not as a king, but as someone whose effort was finally seen and valued. The kingdom grew happier, kinder, and wiser, all because one donkey and one prince traded places and found the truth hidden beneath the crowns and harnesses. Respect is earned, not by title or appearance, but by kindness, effort, and the heart we put into what we do. Don't forget to subscribe, Mafu Tales, for more magical stories.